Okay, so we will start now. And before I start, do you have any questions? Because I'm going to cover this and I'm going to stop and ask you all questions myself. But before I start, do you have questions? Is there anything you want to know? Yes, tell
Yes, I have one question. It's last week we were talking about karma. I don't know how can I explain this. We're talking about immortality, which now all understand very well. And we should prepare ourselves, and there is no fear of the death because it is a fact and a must in life. But where does it come, this fear generally, if we bring the previous karmas with us? So when we die, there must be something dramatic happening if the fear follows us to the new karma.
Yes. You see, we've had many lifetimes. Many. And we don't remember so many of them. But you see, the chitta is your consciousness that goes from one lifetime to the other, your full consciousness. So deep in the chitta is memories. They're memories. Your soul has memories of all of us at one point must have had horrific deaths. I'm sure in one of the lifetimes. I mean, I have a constant vision of me falling off a cliff with 2 children. Because people are following me. These are some of the dreams that come vividly for no reason, and with, a Victorian dress with little flowers, and I mean, I see myself perfectly. Another time I see myself with red hair, and I still have freckles for an Indian woman, unusual. I've also seen that I've been shot. Right here, and
that's the fear comes then if something.
Yes, memories, deep memories, deep memories. Now, whether they're mind stuff, whether they're not, nobody ever knows. It's a feeling that you get, that you remember something. Buddha, in his meditation, he claimed to remember his 500,000 lives, So, we are eternal. Energy will never die, right? Energy doesn't die. So, think about eternity. It's quite an incredible concept. We can't even begin to understand eternity. So yes, so these are deep, we call them in Sanskrit samskaras. Can you say it? Samskaras. They're deep things that are so deep in you that, sometimes you ask yourself, why do I need to do this? Why do I have this samskara? Why do I have this desire that is so overwhelming when I know I have the knowledge, and yet this desire is so strong in me that it's called samskara. It's something that you have to bring up, release, before you can be liberated from it.
So is this then why that some people are so peaceful before death, and some people have such a fear? I've been given absolutely a gift at the moment. One of my old ladies, I took hospital on Monday. And she's totally alone in this world. She's got nobody. And to be in the hospital with her yesterday, I had to break my yamas and tell the doctors and the nurses I'm the sobrina, because otherwise I was not allowed into intensive care.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I get to the point. Get to the point.
Yes. And to see somebody, dying. She hasn't said, she's not dead yet, but dying. And seeing the face when you hold her hand, and she felt, I'm safe because you're here, thank you. I felt so grateful. I felt so blessed. I thought that the universe is serving me the opportunity to serve someone with my teaching.
That is the truth. When you really understand these deep teachings, with the practice of meditation and in time and the dedication and devotion you hold in your heart, what happens is there's a shift in your consciousness. You and the person dying, you and the person in pain, you and the person who's asking for your help, there's this feeling of one. Your strength suddenly, your peace suddenly becomes theirs.
Yes.
There's like no you and me. And this is when these kind of things happen, there is a feeling of gratitude that you are able to, you're humble, that you are able to contribute to the other soul's enlightenment. You don't know how. And when this happens to you, there is a feeling like, oh my God, I'm really an instrument. You know, that I'm able to transmit this love and this peace to somebody at their most difficult time. And this is why when death becomes beautiful and not ugly. And it is a great privilege. It is a great privilege. It is a great privilege to be able to do that. As you know, I said when my husband passed, right? Although the pain was so great, the privilege was even greater. To be able to send him away without hysteria, but to give him the peace that he needed in his passing.
But the people are so funny. They say to me now, because they know about how fond I am, this lady. They say to me, isn't she lucky she's got you? I said, oh, I am so lucky to be able to be with her.
This is exactly how I feel.
Yes.
So I really understand you.
I was so enlightened when I came out from hospital 9 o'clock last night, and I thought, you know, the knowledge that
It
we
does.
get here.
This is what knowledge gives you. And again, now you can understand our master saying, the dedicated ever enjoy supreme peace. So live only to serve. Because service without expectation of anything, just the joy of service in great situations, in painful situations, doesn't matter. The joy of service takes you to a very high vibration of peace. That's what it does, no matter how painful. So you can feel peace in the pain.
Absolutely.
That's a very, very good experience for you. Very good. And now that you've passed the test, the universe will send you more and more and more. And that's how it works.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. When we are ready, we are called. And about you telling a little white light, saying, that's a good white light. You're helping someone. So no problem in it. What is a perfect action? One that causes no harm to anyone, some benefit to someone, yourself included. That brings peace to both sincerely, purely, with nothing in expectation. And the joy of that action, of no expectation, but the joy of the action is greater than any joy you can receive. And that's a really good question. Yes, you see, it happens naturally as you grow. Yes.
What about what to do in such a situation that like you be serving someone like that, and then the person is so grateful and is thanking you so much that you start to feel embarrassed?
What can you do? Accept it.
You know,
You know,
it's just like it makes it very, you know, it's
you like you don't want the thank you, right?
yes, because it's like going too much. There's like
You know, you just can say there's no need to thank you, thank me, but let them. They need to, so for them, accept it. They need to be grateful. And my master said it's very easy to give, but also learn how to receive. So it's hard sometimes, so much gratitude, but you go, thank you for it, I appreciate it, and then you send it, you know, I always send it out. I always say, they say thank you to me, I offer it back to you. And then it's not so heavy on me. You know, I believe it's all divine anyway, so send it back. Just when bad things happen, it goes, your problem, God. Good things happen, your praise. You keep it, you keep all of it. Just keep me detached from getting so like mind stuff. Because the mind stuff, oh, it's too much, it will also cause disease, you see? Now this is very good because all the yogic teachings tell you, in the end, it's not about good or bad. Do you see? It's not about good or bad. It's just understanding the truth is. It's there all the time. And that essence of the truth, the divine energy is truth, knowledge, bliss, absolute. And when we are in truth, like this example Turtu gave, or Durga gave, this attitude of service in truth, which is we all die one day, with knowledge, just holding their hand, not telling people what to do at the last minute and breaking their hands, but just loving them. and will give you the bliss that you have. And that's what perfect actions do. And you all know them. And yet, when we go out in the world, we keep forgetting, right? We keep forgetting. We keep forgetting. And this is why we have satsang every Tuesday and every Wednesday in Gibraltar for nearly 20 years now. Why? Because people keep forgetting. Even after 18 years, people keep forgetting. And I go, so many times after the 4th, 5th years of teaching, I say, I've done my work. I keep repeating the same thing, same thing. God, you really don't need me anymore. Let everybody do what they need to do. But I see that people forget, so I keep going till they don't need me. And why? Because the pull of the earth is so strong. The pull of materialism is so strong. You all know, right? You're fine when you're in here. You really are so clear, because I can feel the energy that you send me. I can feel when you're not clear and when you're clear. And when you're so clear here, you're in the knowing. You know yourself, you know what you want to do, you know how good it feels to be in bliss. And yet you go, and somebody knocks you or gives you a criticism, and immediately your balance is gone. When that happens, you say, thank you for insulting me, or thank you for criticizing me, because this is how I can practice my spiritual strength. Otherwise, how can you practice? But it's difficult, because it'll hurt 1 time, and 2 times, and 3 times. The 4th time you learn, you know what, I'm just going to detach. And then when it becomes so horrible, you say, you know what, I'm even going to disregard now. I don't need to spend any more time with this person. Disregard. Ignore. They'll call you to pinch you and say little words to upset you. Sorry, I'm busy. No need to feel guilty. Close the phone. Non-attachment. You've grown in strength. You don't need nonsense in your life anymore. You have the ability to say no to something that disturbs your mind. And it doesn't make you a bad person or a good person. It just makes you sensible. Because if something's going to knock you in the head so much, you don't have to keep punishing yourself by listening to the same nonsense. Right? Because that's what a lot of people do. It's like people who become battered. Women who are battered. Men who are battered. They listen, and one day they explode. So I said, why? I'll give you a story of this. I had somebody, I maybe told you this story, who was married for 35 years, okay? 35 years. And suddenly, she comes to me and says, I want to leave my husband. And I said, oh my God, you're like 65 now. Tell me, why do you want to leave your husband? I'm very, very... 35 years is a long time to be with anyone. Haven't you learned all you have to learn in 35 years? And she goes, so I said, tell me what's wrong with him. So she said, is he good to you? Yes, he looks after me, he takes me traveling, I have a beautiful home, So what is wrong? I don't like his temper. What don't you like about his temper? Every time he gets angry, he takes glasses and throws it and smashes on the floor. He breaks things. And he's been doing this for 35 years. And what have you done about it? What do you do when he does that? Well, all these years, all I do is, I don't like his temper, so I just sweep up the glass and I don't say anything. So I said, you're a little bit foolish. I'm sorry to tell you that. The first time he threw the glass on the floor, what should you have said? You don't do that with things. Stop the nonsense. If you're angry, get it out another way. Learn to be an adult. This is childish. Right away, say, this is childish behavior, breaking things in the house. How is that going to solve the problem? You're angry, let's talk. Have you ever told him that? She goes, no, I've never told him that. So I said, what have you taught him? What have you taught him? You have taught him that every time he's angry, he can break whatever he wants and you'll nicely clean it up for him. Wow, I wouldn't mind getting angry every time if somebody did that for me. Would you? Let's get it out of you. You fix it. Let me blame you for my problems. So she started crying. I really love him. So I said, look, why don't you bring him and let's see you both together. Let's get the real story. He came in and I expected to see this monster. I really did. Do you know, I saw such a nice man. He was broken. And he said, I don't know why my wife wants to leave me. I love her more than anything. And so I said, tell him. She still hadn't told him. This is sort of a few days after she'd seen him. I said, tell him. She starts shaking. I said, tell him I'm here. He's not going to do anything to you. If he does, I'm here to protect you. So she told him that the reason why she was leaving him was because of that. He burst out crying. Do you know what he answered her? Why did you never tell me? 35 years. Is that all? I will stop. And I told him it's not so easy to stop a habit. Like you've had for 35 years. You really have to work really hard. I'm really willing to work hard. I really, please don't leave me. What do you want? Tell me. And then anyway, all those things that they wanted to tell each other for 35 years, I think they did for 2 hours in my office. It's like they hadn't talked. And I go, how can people be married for 35 years and don't talk? For me, it was very strange. Anything used to bother me at that time when my husband was alive, I tell him. Whether he likes to hear it or not, doesn't matter. Whether he gets angry or not, doesn't matter. I was like, always had to do it because this is my nature. And nobody can throw things at me. I would not accept it, right? As a human being with self-esteem, you just wouldn't do it. So anyway, what happened was after that, I told them that they needed to go on like a little honeymoon, start again. And they did. They went on a little honeymoon, I think it was Christmas time. They went away, didn't hear from them, didn't even know them. 3 or 4 months later, they sent me a beautiful card. Again, sent me flowers, which is so kind. I was working in a shop as well in those days and doing consultations in the afternoon. And they sent me to my shop these beautiful roses and said, thank you very much, we're really married now. So can you imagine if she had left him? I mean, at 65, where are you going to go? You know? I mean, it's not that he used to hit her. He just had a bad temper, but he didn't know how to address it. So, in that letter they had said to me that they had learned to talk. How simple the solution. So many times I've seen, that the problem lies in non-communication, fear. So deep-rooted the fear that it can last for 35 years. And I see that that was one of my first cases. After that, I see it in so many relationships. Communication problem. They're too scared to say. Say, how can you live with someone and be frightened? That's not a marriage. That's a nightmare. You should not be frightened of somebody you love. Why are you frightened of somebody you love? It's a very uncomfortable situation. How can you be in the same home? And if you are frightened, if you do have that fear, then overcome it. Say it. Get it out. Otherwise, it stays deep in your psyche for always. Come back and have to do it again. Yes, Hannah.
What about if one half of the partnership is aware that you're supposed to communicate and has no problems communicating, but the other part does?
Yes. You mean one partner communicates and the other doesn't?
Yeah.
Do you know, I find that a lot of people from the older generation, my generation, have this problem. The younger generation today, they seem to be much better at communication. Because my husband was kind of like that. He didn't communicate because men weren't supposed to communicate. And I think when you understand that about your partner, where their background, you see, I think the one that knows how to communicate should always do the work. So I was the yogi looking for peace, so I did the work. It doesn't matter who does it, so long as it's done. Ego comes in, why should I do it? He should do it, she should do it. All that nonsense you have to forget. So I remember, and when I started yoga, I realized that I was not clear with my husband. I expected him to read my mind.
Exactly.
And he couldn't read my mind. And he didn't know how to communicate. So I very gently told him I needed the communication. But in order to get the communication, I believed that I thought he could read my mind, and he couldn't. I also would say those deep-rooted fears that I had with him in the relationship that I also did not voice. So when I started to say there are things in my soul that I haven't voiced to him and I'm going to do so now, in a very gentle, kind way, and the best way to do it is not at home. You take them out for dinner. I've learned that. Because home there are too many old habits. Television, this,
And you
that.
can always get up in the temper and walk out. So you
That's
can't walk out so easily from a restaurant.
Exactly, yeah.
Without embarrassing yourself.
That's right, correct. And many, many evenings we would sit and communicate until in the end, before my husband passed, he was a better communicator than I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he would tell me everything, which was really good because it made me feel that he did say everything he wanted to say before he passed. Now, it's always a process in a relationship. Nothing happens overnight. People take time to open out. You must allow them that time, especially if one partner has not learned how to do it. Because backgrounds, it's sometimes parental upbringing. But everybody, I have learned this very clearly. When you give them permission and you give them love and you don't laugh at what they think are silly thoughts and you give them time, the time of the day is willing to communicate. Everybody. I have seen that. And like I said, I've done over, I don't know, thousands of cases now. And you can always, even with children, I've had children come to me, stop talking to their parents. And it's always a deep-rooted anger that is there, you know. And I felt that when you get to them, they have communicated after that. So you can get, it takes time, it takes patience, and they have to feel very safe. So that one partner should make the other one safe, that you're not going to insult them if they tell you what they feel. That you won't laugh at them.
One more student.
One more student.
Also, I need to settle. We wanted to finish all the time.
Okay, yes, okay. It's gone quick, huh? 20 to 7. She tells me we should do some revision. We can do revision on these questions are quite important. Any other questions? Anything you'd like to ask? Good questions. So you see, these things are very delicate. And it's really important to understand deep inside you what you want from your life. Huh? What you want from your life. Harmony, peace, truthfulness. For me to live, if you're going to have a relationship, why not make it the best? Even if it's hard work to get there. Yes.
I'd like to ask about these koshas because you know, I kind of like know what they are, but you know, how is it in our lives? You know, like we have the shields, and it's like
Well,
go through.
koshas, the koshas,
Yes.
is like the sheaths, right?
Yes.
They're coverings.
Yes.
It's like if you bake a cake, right?
Yeah.
You have the recipe, the flour, the sugar, the egg, the milk, the water, the bananas, and make a banana cake, right? So to understand the human frame, also we should have the recipe of what we're made of, what the field is that we are working in, and then as a scientist understands, like for example, a scientist wants to discover electricity or some kind of solar power, they will study it and know all the equations. So we are here looking to find our spirit and our soul. So we need to know what we are made up of. So we are made up of these 5 sheets. The physical, which is made of earth, fire, air, ether, water, right? Because you look at your body, it's got all these elements, right? So we are the same as the earth. So we are made up of everything of the earth, water, fire, everything outside is also right here in this body, all right? So then it says, then it talks to you about, okay, this is your most gross, which means the most material, one that you can touch, you can feel. Then it goes to, that's your Annamaya Kosha, the food body. And this is the body where we need to look after, to communicate with the outside world. It's your temple. Now within this body, we have what we call the second kosha, called the Pranamaya Kosha. And this is your breath body. In order to live, you need to breathe. So understand how important it is to breathe properly. It is vital. I believe Kamala is doing a pranayama workshop in a few weeks for 3 hours on a Saturday, it'd be a good idea to come to it. Because breathing is vital, because the air inside and the air outside. And when you breathe, it's one way that you can connect the world of matter with your mind. Because when your mind is going chatter, 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 I can't do this anymore, you'll find people who don't have the tool of breathing go a little bit crazy and fanatical and start throwing things. That's another thing I told that gentleman to do, to breathe deeply. But when you understand how vital breath is, you take a deep breath when you're feeling angry or you want to slow down the mind, you take a deep breath. And if you hold your hand out like that, you will feel prana. Hold it out. Like this, just do this. Close your eyes and you take a few deep breaths. You'll feel the energy in your body and your hands. You'll feel it. Take a deep breath. And breathe out. Breathe in again. And breathe out. Feel the peace, the quiet. Now bring your hands, you can open your eyes and just bring your hands like this. Can you feel energy between your hands? And if you can't, get closer. The bigger your field, the further you can still feel it. It's like a ball. You can even press it. Can you? Yeah. Isn't it cool? You can touch the energy and feel the prana. And as your energy grows, you can feel it further and further. Oh wow, it gets bigger actually. And if you can't, you bring it, I can't go in anymore, see? It like stops you. It can't go in anymore, it's going wide. And then, and the more dynamic in energy you are, the more it can feel. Okay? This is your own aura, your own energy. So prana is understanding this life force, using it, and now because it's used for good, so God bless everyone. Just do God bless everyone. Can you do that just now, all of you? Because it's all so good here. It's all good. So you might as well wish everybody well. You know? Well, you got it, you know? Because yeah.
I need it.
You need it. Okay, let's pass it to you then. And that's what, you know, that's what you do with it. It's all for good. It's all for good and you share it. And at the moment everybody has that in their heart. So it becomes very pure and energetic. And this is where people can heal very quickly in this purity of mind. And this is where Reiki is, you know, all of you can become masters in Reiki. You don't need an exam, really, to be very honest, in the sense that what is Reiki but energy? Now, many people use it when they're not so well. And I tell them, be a little careful, because if one of you are not so well in your head, what are you transmitting from your body? Not only that, I knew somebody who did, not one, 3 or 4 people done the Master Reiki and came to me totally shattered. So I said, what's wrong? You do Reiki, you should know what to do with your body. How come you don't know? I've never done a course, so forgive me. I just, after watching them, have learnt. And I realized that they themselves are so low in their own lives. They are not happy in their own lives. They are so unpeaceful. Now they're trying to heal somebody else. But they're draining their own energy, which they don't have. So after 2 or 3 months of doing it, they collapse. They get really, really sick. And one such person went through a mental breakdown. All because she gave when she had nothing to give. Not only did she go through a mental breakdown, she lost so much weight. So much weight. Because she was literally giving what she didn't have. Now her heart was good. The intention was good. But what is a perfect action? Do you see how it always works? Yeah. One that does no harm to anyone, some benefit to someone, yourself included. So in her mind, I'm doing so much good, why am I getting sick? Sicker and sicker and sicker, and not one, huh? Another one took a course, I think you might know this one because she came and told us right away. She did some healing, she collapsed. She collapsed, and she couldn't, no, lucky she came right away to speak to me, so we made her do some pranayama. Prana, this is where you use it. And isn't it funny, you are also teaching pranayama courses, right?
Yeah, but it's different.
You do it different, you do for
Yeah.
voice, right?
Sorry?
You do for voice, right?
No, I do it with the treatments. It's
Okay.
very basic.
Okay.
It's the very important basic thing.
Yeah, it is. So basic and
It's
so
not like,
phenomenal,
you know,
yes.
Yeah.
So
Basic.
this is
It's an
where-
amazing thing. It's
Yeah,
really-
so this is prana. You see our body has prana and outside is prana. So prana is a wonderful energy that you can feel, touch. But I always say, that's when you use it the best. Is it right? Is it wrong? Nothing is right or wrong. It's a learning. You know, it's a learning. For those two people, they learn. Until they're strong, they cannot give away energy. They need to make themselves strong first. Otherwise, they get drained. So they learned, yes.
When the people use Reiki, isn't the idea to use the cosmic power, not your own?
Correct.
I mean, when
Yeah,
you're
just
strong,
the
you
tool.
connect to the energy and then you
Just
pass
the
it to people. You cannot heal it with your own resources.
But you see, it's easy for us to say it, but very few people really know how to say it's not mine.
Yeah, exactly.
So they collapse because they gave everything they had.
Correct, because they can't say, really, you know, they can't really say, you know, divine energy, this is yours. If this person needs to heal, work through me. And if they can't heal, it's that total surrender. What they do is, I'm the healer. I am the healer. That's the difference, you see.
And also, I don't think they do.
Good point, good point.
It's
Yes.
important to take lots of time to heal yourself first. The
Yes.
first Reiki is very
This-
good for
this-
yourself.
Absolutely. This is why I love the Raj Yoga. I love this course because
So
it
much
gives
about-
you rules and regulation how to make yourself strong.
Yeah.
Now, once you know when you go wrong, oh, I was violent today, ahimsa, I know what to do to heal myself, you see? These are like the golden rules. Okay, I know I'm agitated, so today I've got a big ego. I know I'm feeling, you recognize yourself, you can watch yourself, oh, today I've got a really big ego. Bad time to call this friend up. You see, you can repent. Not a good time because I'm feeling like this. So it's not that you're bad that you're feeling like this. You're human. You're human. Some days you're going to feel awful. It's okay, you're human. But then you know, I feel so bad. I have no right to disturb the world. So what am I going to do with this energy and how to use that energy? Okay, give me 2 or 3 days and I'll be back to normal. I'm going to do some pranayama. I'm going to do some hatha yoga because hatha yoga is great. When you do it quickly, you just namaskaram 10 times quickly. Phew, you're finished, you know. We go for a jog, go for a run. For people who don't do hatha yoga, go to the gym. Takes it all out. Yes.
Would you suggest actually to press the feelings in the stomach and try and get it away, and they'll deal with whatever you have to deal with? Let's say you've got an issue, right? And you can actually press it down so it doesn't come up and speak to that person if you, for example, need to speak to that person. Or you can try and deal with the issue and speak to that person tomorrow.
I think
What would you suggest?
I always say deal with the issue. When you press it down, one, did you see your action?
Yeah.
Press it down. How many prostate cancer? Sorry, I'm being very truthful. Don't say, press it down, stomach takes it. Press it down. The stomach, you might get bloated or you might get various IBS problems with the stomach when you press things down. Also, your heart doesn't like it. It'll go into, because when you hold things, what happens? What muscles do you use? You're not relaxed. So I always think work it out. However, to be very clear in my answer, sometimes when you're working in a business or with a family, temporarily, because there's work to do and there are things you have to do and accomplish for that day, you put it down for a little while, but you say, I'm going to come back to you when I have more time to really work it out. At the moment, I don't have the time to work it out, so I'm going to do this in a rush. It's not going to be sincere. It's not going to be really worked out. So I'll come back to you, and then when you have quiet time, this is where quiet time comes in. This is where you go for your walks on the beach, on the mountainside, and just, okay, now, I'm pressing this down, how do I deal with it? So to make the answer complete, always better to fix, but sometimes not always possible to fix right away. Always come back to attend it. And remind yourself by keeping a spiritual diary and say, I really need to deal with this. Don't procrastinate. Otherwise it keeps coming out. It stays in your body. It's toxic. Anything negative is toxic in your body. Anything toxic will cause a disease. Some kind of discomfort. Some kind of, something will stay in your cells. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, good question. Okay, so going back to the kostas, you see how much the kostas bring up so much stuff? Just understanding the field, and then the mind, through the prana, you can still the mind, understand the thoughts in your mind. No, they all belong to the soul or to the spirit. They're not actually you. So if you understand that, then you go, okay, this is part of my makeup. Where am I today in this, or where am I totally focused? And then you have your intellect, Vijnanamaya Kosha. How is your intellect? Oh, I make this decision, I know it's right. But is it right because you're so personal about it? Are you making it from a neutral point of view? Are you making it, is your intellect purified so that you can make a logical, fair decision? Or is your intellect totally selfish based on what you need? See, you can watch all that. And then finally, the bliss body, we all have that. We all have that while we're living. It's not samadhi, but we can be in a state of bliss. It is possible. And you've all felt that state of bliss. You've all felt that state of joy. I don't know anybody who hasn't. And that is the one we want to have more and more in our lives, even when things are going wrong, to have that sense of peace. Bliss doesn't mean, oh, euphoric. No, it's just a quiet sense of strength. That quiet peace, that stability. And the whole world is rocking around you. And you got that quiet. And that to me is bliss. That solidity, that solid feeling of, I'm really very safe, no matter what happens. And that is the bliss that you feel. So that is your, the koshas. And so understanding the field in which you work in, your spirit is in, is very important for a scientist of the soul. And yoga is that science. It's a science to discover our own soul, our own spirit. It's absolutely a science. So what else? Because this in a way is a little bit of a revision, isn't it?
It's good, that was good, thank you.
Yeah, so this is why we say yogas, chitta, vritti, nirodha. So the restraint of the modification of the mind stuff is yoga. You restrain it so that you don't just act on every impulse. I'm angry, so break this. I'm in a bad mood today, so you're going to be blamed. Do you see, this is human nature. You restrain it. Why do I need to do that? And then when you restrain it, you understand it, you become calm, and then tada drastue swarupe vastanam. Means then you are filled. Swarup means fullness. You feel full. You feel at home. You feel completely overpowered by this. The seer abides in its own true nature, which is truth, knowledge, bliss. Absolutely. Full. You feel full. You don't feel needy or clingy or like, I gotta have, I need. You just are full in yourself with that complete feeling. And that is what yoga is, right? And then all these sutras are just to get there. And then after that, we get in Sutra 4. If you are not in that fullness, if you're not in that peace, if you're not in that truth, what happens? You're very much in your mind. You're very much in your mind. So today somebody gives you bad news, the whole day you're agitated by the bad news. You think the bad news is everything. You lose balance. You become so negative because you're bad news, you've forgotten all the good in your life. you know, like I said, again, going back to relationships, you know, I see couples have been very happy, and then maybe one partner or the other partner does one or two things that are bad, and they only constantly attack the bad things all the time. You did this, you did this, you did this, you did this, you did this. And when they come and sit with me, and I said, I want you both to tell me what are the good things you do. Do you know? There are far more good things they do for each other than bad. Far more. So I said, why don't you thank them for the good? Why are you always picking the bad? Why? Isn't it odd? Human nature.
Crazy.
It's crazy. It's so crazy.
It's crazy.
There's no like common sense.
I find it that it's like, because I have seen this with my friends, in my friends' relationships. It's like they get into this, also me and my husband sometimes. You start with something and you get into this road and you always react the same way, you know. It's like you always answer the same way when you ask something, you know. So you get into
Bad habit.
bad habit, or it's like it's like programmed somehow, because you have been doing it habit so many times that you always go to the same program. And then has to be a third person who is exactly saying that, stop it, you know.
Change the program.
Change the program now.
I love that story. Have you heard her story? All of you, her story is
But
really
this is
nice.
another kind of program thing, you know.
Yes. Yeah. Her story, she told us. Can you tell it about when you come home and what you changed in your life?
Yeah, well, it was like, my husband was very much at home, and I was working a lot and all the time more and more, and I was starting to be really tired, and we have 3 boys, and we had the smallest was that time like 4 or 5. So I was taking more and more challenging jobs because I couldn't say no, because I wanted to have like, you know, more and more and whatever. And anyway, so I started to come home. I was really tired, and of course that was the only place where I could, you know, just throw all the things out from that day that I felt really agitated and, you know, nervous, because that was the safe place. Anyway, so I came home one day, or after it was evening, and first of all, I heard already my youngest son, telling to me that, Mother, why are you so angry all the time? And he started to really disturb me. And then one night, my husband said to me that, listen, you know, I'm starting to be really nervous, because I know that you're coming home like 8:30, so I'm starting to be really nervous 7:30, and the whole home is starting to be nervous.
Gosh.
You're powerful.
Yeah, but it was, I came home, and when he finally said that, I was like, everything dropped, and I felt like, I felt so sorry. And then I said, okay, let's do it again. So I went away for a minute or 2, and then I rang the bell again, and I came home and, oh, hello! You know, started in a totally different field. And we really used that many times in the beginning. You know, like in the mornings sometimes, Sunday mornings, you know, one of us said something nasty or whatever. And then, oh no, okay, let's start again. So we went back to bed, and it was really good. Now we don't have to do it anymore.
It's another sexual excuse, that's it.
Oh, yes. Let's do it again. Of course, men would do that. Of course.
Yeah.
But you're then just changing your script, aren't you?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Program.
Yeah. What did Shakespeare say?
Yes.
We are all but actors.
All
the
Yes.
All the men and women are merely players.
Thank
The world's
you.
a stage.
You studied Shakespeare, didn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'll ask you to quote a few things then.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was from Macbeth, was it? No. Was it
All the world's
Tempest?
I don't remember. I think it's 12 nights.
Is it 12 Nights?
12th night, all the world's a stage.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. I love literature,
Yeah.
so I can go
Script,
on.
yeah.
But it's not so difficult. But of course, there has to be 2 of the people getting
Yes.
into it, you know.
I wanted to do. You have to both sign up for the
Yeah.
play.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but you know, it takes a very
Takes
brave,
two.
it takes a very brave person when
To say,
when your husband says to you, for
Yes.
example, that you know that he dreads you coming, and instead of saying, most people would say, "How dare you speak to me? I've got the money all day long. I've been working all day." But it takes a very brave and strong person to say, "Oh, I'm ashamed." Now that's where the ego comes. You see, purify the ego. And that you're able to say, you know what, you're right, and let me go and start again. It takes very humble, very loving person to do that. It shows that you really love your partner. Most people are more involved in their ego. I must be better than you, and you should be the one. You know, I'm working all day and you're home. You see, most people would answer like that. That you can do that shows a very good person, very strong person. You know, to take that and not react so badly. Which is what most people would do, react badly. So, yes, it's all about reprogramming. That's what, this is the whole study. You do yoga for self-transformation.
yes.
You change all the chips that no longer are necessary. The chips that ultimately make you miserable, make you sad, breaks up your home, breaks up your friendships, breaks you up. Anger, jealousy, all these things break you. Why continue? Look at your face when you're jealous. Look at that. Shouldn't that tell you how unhappy it's making you? Look at you when you're angry. What's it doing to your body? The person may have insulted you, but you keep it inside. You sleep with it. You live with it. It is burning you up. And when you understand the power of negativity in your body, just as you understand the power of positivity in your body, what it does to your cells, then obviously you're going to make an intelligent, I hope, decision and say, these thoughts destroy my life on earth. These thoughts enhance my life on earth. So forget about who did or what did. Forget about the ego. How do I want to live my life? And is that your dog?
Nalanie, could I just say though,
Yes, okay.
I totally agree with what you're saying, but also it takes us so long and so many years running around looking for these answers
Yes, it
and
does.
looking everywhere, like my favourite musk deer
Yes.
in the sutra. And I just have to say, without you, we would not get it. And we would still be running around like the musk deer looking for the scent. So, although I know it's all in our hands and we all have the possibility to look for the answers within ourselves, but thank God for you, because we would not have got it otherwise. So thank you.
Thank you.
Couldn't be said better.
And it's not the book, it's the teacher that makes the book become alive, that you don't read the words, but you understand it with a heart when we listen to you. And that makes a big difference.
Thank you.
Because you can go through pages and books.
Yes.
You haven't understood anything with the heart.
Thank you. It's my joy. It's my joy. It's my joy when I see people happy. So I'm very selfish.
It's your day to day, you can be.
It makes me happy. I've always said since I was little, it makes me happy to see other people happy. So I'm just doing what makes me happy. So, when I see people sad, I just want to hug them. So it's what the samskaras I came with was given to me to feel like this. So I am very grateful. And if I can make a day better, I'm just so happy to do that. Because there's no other joy that is more permanent than a soul. You can buy things, everything is temporary. But if you can make another soul lift themselves from themselves, it's longer You know, it's lonely. They can find their peace. They can find their joy. That's why when I teach these sutras, which I love so much, I wish you take them to your heart so you can shift so many lives and become the light in other people's lives. And then we just spread it. We just spread it. And we all know we need to do this. You know, we need
But
to
you
do
bring
this.
these threads of information, these pearls of wisdom that we are so blessed to have. You thread them a little bit more out to us. Otherwise, I know exactly when your arms came out there, his arms came out the
And
same.
my master, I have to thank.
Wonderful,
I have to thank.
but we would not receive it without that thread, that link. So
And on that note, we just have just one more. As you know, it's Nalie's birthday today, so we just got some ones there just to give you something. Thank you. Yes.
Can we sing?
Can we say
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nalanie. Happy birthday to you. May love always surround you. Happy birthday to you.
Did you see the marmalade? It's so pretty. Thank you.
You made it lovely.
It's
Well,
We made it at the back over there.
Is it so
I was actually cutting the kiwis. Sorry for the wrong cuts, you know.
Om Shanti. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy.
Ian is number one.
You both say it. May.
May the entire universe be filled with peace, joy, love, and light.
Bravo, mother. Don't cry.
Maybe next day. And what chant can you do? Can you do it for me? Is it possible?
Yes.
Would you do it now?
Om Namo Bhagavate Satchidananda. Om Namo Bhagavate Satchidananda. Om Namo Bhagavate Satchidananda.
Thank you. Thank you. What can you do? Which one would you like to do? Okay, can you do it for us? Thank you.
Wow.
Which one do you like? I like that. But maybe for a boy, maybe should I pick that one? Yeah? I think so, yeah? And you put that in your little temple for Gurudev. And he'll be so happy. In the Bhagavad Gita, you know what it says? It says, he who offers a flower, a piece of fruit, even a leaf or some water, and offers it to the universe with love, that gift will be received with such joy. And that's why we always put flowers in front of the master. Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you all for...
Nalanie,
Yes.
you're going to be really happy because we're actually going together with the gym center. So you're getting your main present tomorrow. So that's for your travels, towards your travels. So you can't give it away to anybody else. From everybody, but the main one is tomorrow in
Yes.
gym.
Thank you very, very much indeed. I will use it towards my next travel, which is Estoril. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. That is so generous and so kind. Thank you very much. Really so kind. I'm really grateful. Shanti, can you help me remove this? Yes. I'd like to chant with all of you. Can you carry on chanting? Who's going to chant? Who sings? Audrey, you have a beautiful voice. Can you, Anjali, sing us something? Yeah. Thank you for
Loka samasta sukhinu bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhinu bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhinu bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhinu bhavantu. The entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light, peace and joy, love and light. The entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light, peace and joy, love and light.
in Finnish.
Samasta sukhinu bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhinu bhavantu. The entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light, peace and joy, love and light.
Another mantra, please.
Yajamahe sugandhim pushtivarnam urvarukamivam bandhanam mrityum mokshaye mamrita. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe sugandhim pushtivarnam urvarukamivam bandhanam mrityum mokshaye mamrita. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe sugandhim pushtivarnam urvarukamivam bandhanam mrityum mokshaye mamrita. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
May the whole world be filled with
Peace, joy, love and light.
You've taught your children well, huh?
He's a living sample.
You've taught your children.